Welcome back to Top Review 95, the podcast where we break down real-life experiences with home tech and appliances, helping you make smarter choices for your home and health. In today's episode, we're diving into the world of clean drinking water and taking a deep look at one of the more talked about countertop reverse osmosis systems on the market, the Bluevua RO100ROPOT-UV. A 6-stage water purification unit that promises high performance in a compact, no-installation design. Let's start with what makes this product immediately appealing. The Bluevua RO100ROPOT-UV is designed for those of us who want cleaner, healthier water without the need to crawl under a sink with a wrench or commit to permanent plumbing changes. As someone who's not exactly handy with the toolbox, this plug-and-play countertop format was immediately attractive to me. The unit is self-contained, sleek, and fits comfortably on most kitchen counters. That in itself solves a lot of logistical headaches. But here's where things get interesting: the water quality it delivers. After running multiple batches through it, I can genuinely say the water is excellent. It has a distinctly crisp, clean taste. No trace of chlorine, no metallic aftertaste, no strange odor, just fresh, neutral water that feels noticeably different from unfiltered tap. That's a credit to its 6-stage purification process, which includes reverse osmosis, activated carbon, UV sterilization, and more. I actually tested it with the TDS meter, and the drop in total dissolved solids was impressive. You can see the clarity in the glass, and more importantly, you can taste the difference. Another key highlight for me was the glass carafe. Unlike many countertop units that use plastic tanks or carafes, which can leach chemicals over time or just leave an odd taste, Bluevua uses a borosilicate glass container. It's heat-resistant, BPA-free, and completely transparent, so you always know exactly what you're drinking. I found that reassuring, especially in a world where microplastics and chemical leaching have become legitimate concerns. There's a certain peace of mind in seeing your water through clear, high-quality glass. And speaking of usability, I appreciated the smart features built into this unit. There's an LED indicator system that tracks the life of each filter stage, letting you know precisely when it's time to replace them. I didn't have to guess or go digging through manuals. A quick glance at the lights on the front panel gave me everything I needed. For someone juggling work, family, and 100 other responsibilities, that simplicity is gold. Now, one underrated but genuinely helpful addition is the included mineral pot. For those unfamiliar, reverse osmosis water, while very clean, can sometimes taste flat because the process strips out everything, including beneficial minerals. Bluevua's system addresses that by reintroducing a small amount of healthy minerals post-filtration. The result? Water that not only tastes clean, but feels more natural. I noticed it right away. It's a subtle difference, but if you've ever had RO water that felt almost too pure, you'll appreciate this balance it adds. But of course, no product is perfect, and the Bluevua is no exception. Let's talk about what didn't impress me, or at least gave me pause. First and foremost, the glass carafe, while aesthetically pleasing and functionally sound, feels fragile. It's thin, and while I never broke it, I found myself being very careful every time I handled it. Lifting it out, placing it back in, even drying it off. I was constantly worried that a small bump might cause a crack or chip. I even started keeping a soft cloth or tray underneath just in case I slipped during use. Then there's the rear plastic tank, the one that holds unfiltered tap water. Compared to the carafe, this part feels underwhelming. The plastic is thin and feels a little flimsy, especially when filled. When I lifted it to refill or clean, the tank would flex slightly, and I found myself wishing it had a bit more structural integrity. It didn't fail at any point, but it didn't inspire the same confidence as the glass carafe. Another practical issue is water efficiency. Like most RO systems, this unit creates wastewater, meaning for every liter of purified water, you're discarding a fair amount as wastewater. Depending on your water source and pressure, that ratio can vary, but I consistently saw a fairly high amount going down the drain. It's not unique to Bluevua, it's inherent to RO technology, but for the eco-conscious among us, that trade-off is worth considering. Additionally, while the filter replacement system is simple and well lit with those smart indicators, the NSF certification status left me a bit uncertain. Bluevua claims high filtration performance, and independent reviewers have backed that up with test data, but the unit lacks full NSF certification for a broad range of contaminants. That might not be a deal breaker for everyone, but for those who trust third-party verification, particularly for heavy metals, pesticides, or VOCs, this is something to note. The final gripe I had was about occasional leakage or drips when removing or reinserting the CARAFE. There were a few instances where the base didn't seal perfectly, and I noticed small puddles on the counter afterward. It's not a huge problem. Again, placing a tray or cloth underneath solves it, but for a premium-looking unit, I expected a more precise fit. Also, when you need water urgently, the system can take its time. This isn't an instant pour experience. There's a brief wait between filter cycles, which can be mildly annoying when you're in a rush. So, where do I land overall? Well, despite the few drawbacks, I genuinely believe the Bluevua RO100ROPOT-UV is one of the best countertop RO systems available right now. For me, the quality of the water, the ease of use, and the thoughtful touches like glass components and mineral enhancement made a compelling case. It strikes a strong balance between form and function. And for those who don't want to tear apart their kitchen to enjoy high-grade water, this is a very attractive option. Still, it's not for everyone. If you have small kids around and worry about glassware, or if you're extremely water conscious and concerned about waste, you'll need to plan around those factors. And if third-party certifications like NSF are high on your list, this unit may leave you with unanswered questions. But if you're someone like me, someone who wants fresh, great-tasting water without complicated installation, someone who values design, and who's willing to treat that glass carafe with a little extra care, then the Bluevua delivers. I've enjoyed using it, and it's now a permanent fixture in my kitchen. That's it for today's review. If you've tried the Bluevua RO100 ROPOT-UV yourself, I'd love to hear what you think. Drop me a message or a voice memo. We might feature your experience in a future episode. Until then, stay hydrated, stay healthy, and keep it clear.